Hello agents and welcome to my boss by boss guide for the Dark Hours raid on the Division 2. I have covered guides like this in the past for Dark Hours and Iron Horse, but I have recently put a team together to find the easiest ways to beat these two raids in Title Update 12. We have so many more builds now than when I made these guides in the past, and it's got so much easier. My aim of these guides is not to give you world record runs, but instead a very comfortable method that you and your team can use to beat both raids with ease after some practice. We were able to get a 22-minute Dark Hours run with these methods and a 49-minute Iron Horse run. Both times can be improved with the same method and improved on more as you get more comfortable in bringing harder hitting builds. You can also flawless both raids with these methods. Today we are starting with Boomer on Dark Hours. I'm going to go over all the roles, the builds that you'll want for those roles, and I'll explain our strategy. If you want to see any of the builds in more detail, then they'll be linked down in my video description along with all of the other boss guides for Dark Hours and Iron Horse. While you are there, you'll also find a link to the Best Division community on Discord, which I am a founder of, and if you'd rather just get help by another team through these raids, then we have raid teams on PC, PlayStation and Xbox that can help you. These guides are for players that want to form their own teams and maybe become one of our raid teams one day. At the end of the video, I will show you a full run of Boomer using the builds and the strategies that I suggest. And before we get going, can I just ask that you like and share this video to show us some support, and if you are new to the channel then be sure to hit subscribe to help me towards my goal of 40,000 subscribers in 2021. The first role for Boomer that we are going to discuss is the Overwatch Opportunistic role. This role will be a common theme throughout all of these boss by boss guides because it gives your team so much extra damage. It works better on some bosses than others, but even if you're only using part of the build, it is better than not having it. The build for this role looks like this. You want to run the Survivalist specialization with a concussion grenade, you want a Scorpio shotgun, and the secondary and side armor up to you. For the gear pieces, you want to run the Coyote mask, Badger Tough ammo dump holster, and the Fox's Prayer knee pads. The other three pieces can be Providence, or 2-piece Providence and a Gruppo, or 1-piece Providence, 1-piece Gruppo, and 1-piece Seska. They all do the same thing, and you want the Overwatch talent on the chest piece and the Opportunistic talent on the backpack. Crit damage should be rolled on every single piece with weapon damage, and you'll want 2 pieces with weapon handling and the rest crit chance. Throw 3 crit damage mods in, and the skills that you want to use are the Revive Hive and then a crowd control skill like the Assault Turret, a Decoy, or a Striker Drone. The purpose of this build is to be in cover and give all of your team members 12% extra damage with Overwatch. You will also shoot key targets with the Scorpio to proc Opportunistic, which gives all your team members 10% damage, and you are going to do some crowd control as well. On Boomer, we have this role placed on B laptop. The main job here is to stay in cover to give your team extra damage and to do ad control from the donut shop spawn and help the burger shop spawn as well. You'll want a secondary weapon that you're comfortable with for ad control, and if you have a spare few seconds when Boomer goes to his knee, you can switch to the Scorpio to proc Opportunistic on him. Other than this, you'll just be responsible for interacting with the B laptop when it is called out. Another common role that you'll see through all of these guides is the Tardigrade role. We have someone run an exotic Tardigrade chest piece all the way through both raids to give the team that extra survivability, and it keeps people up. The build for this role looks like this. You will want a grenade launcher specialization for the extra damage to target out of cover that it gives you, and for the explosion that it will soak up every 60 seconds. This perk is invaluable on both of the raids. And then for the weapons, you'll just want to go with whatever you're comfortable with. I go with the Eagle Bearer and the Baker's Dozen, and my sidearm is the TDI card custom. With this sidearm, it gives me a skill tier when I equip it, and what I can do to take advantage of that is switch to it before I use a Revive Hive to pick up a teammate. I can then switch back to another weapon to carry on shooting while the Hive picks them up, and what the sidearm does, it gives the Hive 2 charges so that I can then pick the Hive back up after I've got up my teammate. For the gear pieces, I've gone with 2-piece Providence and 1-piece Gruppo, but 3-piece Providence will work the same to give you the same set bonuses, and I have the named Fox's Prayer knee pads with the exotic Tardigrade chest piece. What this chest piece does is give bonus armor to each of your team if the armor is depleted, and they can make use of this every 45 seconds. It also works for yourself, and getting kills with your grenade launcher specialization will refresh the 45-second cooldown for whoever is on it. My backpack talent is perfect vigilance, but normal is fine, and you'll want to tailor the last piece to the main weapon that you use. As I am using an assault rifle, I have gone with Fenris. All pieces should have crit chance and crit damage rolls on them apart from the chest piece, and you want to have 3 crit damage mods on as well. The skills you want to use on this build is a Revive Hive and anything else that is required for each boss. On the Boomer boss fight, apart from the build, the Tardigrade role will count as a DPS role, and we'll cover that soon. The healer role is the final role we get to cover before the DPS role. This role is used for every boss except for one in these boss by boss guides for Dark Hours and Iron Horse. Although the role tasks will change at times, the build can stay the same throughout, and it looks like this. You'll want to run a survivalist specialization for its healing properties, and then I have the Scorpio and designated hitter as the weapons. The sidearm does not matter at all, and the most important part of this build, besides from being able to heal people, is that it is 4-piece future initiative, and you'll have these in the mask, chest, holster and knee pad slots, and you also want to have repair skills rolled onto all of them. Future Initiative comes with a lot of healing properties but also the ground control talent. This talent gives every member of your team 15% extra damage if they are at full armor, and the Future Initiative chest piece ups this to 25% extra damage. You then want to have the BTSU gloves so that you can refresh hives and overcharge when it is needed, and you want an Alps backpack. The talent on this is up to you. I feel that the build gives enough heals anyway, so I go Opportunistic and proc it from time to time with the Scorpio. I know we already have a role covering Opportunistic, but it's an additional option if needed. I have the Incendiary Grenade for crowd control, and you want to have the Restorer Hive and a Chem Launcher for heals. I mix up the 3 mods with Skill Haste and Repair Skill mods. On Boomer, we have the healer role placed on C laptop. This laptop will be their responsibility if it is called out when the alarms go off. The reason the healer is here is because no ads spawn in this quarter of the room, and the healer can just throw down the hive and get chems out to people if needed. As already discussed, you'll also be giving each of your team 25% damage if they're at full armor automatically. Apart from healing and hitting the C laptop, there isn't much else to do for this role. The DPS role is the final role that will be given to everybody else, so at this point you will already have somebody allocated to the Overwatch Opportunistic role, the Tardigrade role and the healer role. So the remaining 5 people want to put on a good DPS build, and with the way we are set up, an Unbreakable Vigilance DPS build is perfect. You'll be getting all sorts of extra damage from the team buff, so having Unbreakable on the chest piece will just add a ton of survivability to the team also. And this stacks with the Tardigrade too, so if your armor gets depleted, you'll get your armor back plus the bonus armor. A good way to do this build is like this. You want to have the Grenade Launcher specialization for the damage to target out of cover and the immunity to an explosion every 60 seconds. You then want to run with the weapons that work best for you. I go with the Eagle Bearer and the Baker's Dozen, but your favourite assault rifle or rifle will also work. And then I go with the TDI card custom, again just to be able to proc an extra charge to get a teammate up so that I'll be able to pick up my hive again. I go 3-piece Providence with 1-piece Grupo, and then I have the Fox's Prayer knee pads with a Fenris chest for the assault rifle damage. Crit chance and crit damage is rolled everywhere with Unbreakable on the chest and Vigilance on the backpack. I have 3 crit damage mods, and you'll want to run a Revive Hive with whatever other skill you prefer. It is also advisable that one person running this build sacrifices their mask for the Coyote's mask so that you have 2 of these in your team because they can stack. Only one person needs to do this because we included the Coyote's mask on the Overwatch Opportunistic build. So we have 6 people who still need to be allocated, 5 people with these DPS builds and a person running a Tardigrade DPS build. So far we have put Overwatch Opportunistic role on B laptop and the healer on C laptop. We will now want to put 2 of the remaining 6 people on A laptop and D laptop. The person on A will help cover ads that spawn from Burger Bar and Donut Shop. They'll also be responsible for interacting with the A laptop if called for. The person on D will cover ads that spawn from door 43 and 44 and will be responsible for D laptop if that is called for. There is one final spot that I like to call the sweet spot, and this is here at Burger Bar. Another person will take cover here and they'll have sightlines of all spawns. They can see all spawns at Burger Bar and Donut, and if they look right they can see door 43 and 44 as well. This person won't be responsible for hitting any laptops at all, and a quick tip for this position is to be in cover on the vending machine when Boomer first spawns, or there is a chance that you can get his eye and you don't want to do that. Once Boomer has spawned in and is attracted to somebody else, you can use all the cover here. For everybody mentioned, your job is just to kill ads. Ad build up is the biggest failing for teams attempting Boomer, and as long as the ads are dead it can be easy work, so always prioritise them when you can. The only thing that gets higher priority is when the laptop is called and you need to interact with it. People will also be calling out when Boomer can take damage, and if you are free to do so you should shoot Boomer in the head while he is on his knee. This leaves us with just 3 more people, and these will be the people who manage Boomer. As soon as you enter the area, 2 of you will take the 2 guns and you'll shoot down the nodes to start the boss fight off. Always start with the furthest node away from you, as this will be where the ads spawn in first, and once the first wave of ads are done, Boomer will break down the door and enter the area. One of the 3 people managing Boomer should take the gun at 45, and somebody else managing Boomer should shoot Boomer in his legs to get his eye, but don't shoot his green chest until you have him in the position with his back to the gun. A big red eye will appear on the screen, and your job is to take him to the gun at 45 and turn him around. The person on the gun will shoot his big red backpack with the gun and he will go down to his knee. Just watch that you don't overheat the gun or you will have to wait for it to cool down. The third person managing Boomer at this point will just be helping with ad control, and when Boomer is down, a call needs to be made so everyone who is free to do so can shoot Boomer in the head. You should be taking 2 bars of his armor off per phase. Boomer will stand back up and grenade the gun, and one of the people managing Boomer should keep his eye, and they need to take him to the other gun. Work is free to keep Boomer rotating and putting him down to do damage. You need to watch his chest and shoot it the second that it goes green again to stop him from healing himself. You just need to rinse and repeat this process until his armor is gone, and then you're all able to kill him. There are 3 of you managing Boomer, so don't be afraid to help out with ads if you do see them building up. And the final mechanic that you need to manage are the laptop callouts. There are 4 big screens in the centre of the room, and when the alarm sounds you need to call out which laptops need interaction. They will show on all 4 screens as blue, and more will be needed as the fight goes on. The people in charge of the laptops will interact with them as someone calls it out. It is always best to have one of the people managing Boomer to always do the calls for clear comms. If the laptops don't get pressed or the wrong one gets pressed, all 4 nodes will come back up and they will need to be destroyed quick. There is a wipe mechanic on Boomer, and if you take too long he will eventually destroy both of the guns so you cannot cause any more damage to him, but you won't need to worry about this as you get more comfortable with it. And now it is time to show you a full run using all of these builds and tactics that I've just discussed. Remember to hit like and share on this video so others can find it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And remember, if you want even more help with raids, or if you just want to run with one of our many raid teams, then check out our community link that is in the video description and come and join us once you are finished. There are also links there for all of my builds discussed today if you want to see them in more depth, and to my other boss by boss guides for Dark Hours and Iron Horse. Enjoy the rest of this video, and until next time, stay safe and peace out. We're good.
3, 2, 1, go.
Kind of high-tech defense. See if you can put it out of commission.
Defense system node disabled. Defense system node disabled. Defense system node disabled.
What, TJ?
Yep.
It's down.
Damage.
Damn.
Nice damage.
Chest is done.
Thank you. Got the eye. Over here.
I'll get that healer. Nice. Down.
Damage.
Computers.
Which ones?
Alpha Delta.
Got Delta. Watch the ad so it spawned. Delta's done.
Alpha's done.
Bringing him round.
Work, nice work.
Defense system disabled.
Thank you.
Damage.
I'll bring him straight round again.
Damage.
Damage. Nice. Okay, 2 more rotations.
It's on me. No, it's not.
Watch laptops.
Computers.
Defense system reactivating.
Alpha
Laptops.
Charlie Delta.
I got
I got
Delta.
Alpha. Alpha's done.
Charlie's done as well. Nice work.
Defense system reactivation.
Damage.
Down.
Right.
Nice. Last one.
got good prep on him. Good.
Okay.
I'm getting really destroyed by ads at Jonah, I want to say.
40.
He's on TJ.
Oh
You
shit.
got an ad, you right, Tommy?
I got his chest.
He's on you now. Nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
Oh, Booms! Booms, what are you playing at?
Go on, Boom. Go on, Boom.
Baby! Baby! Thank you.
Damage.
Even. Nice, nice work with the ads.
I moment your teammate roots for Boomer.
Yep. Teammate.